The air in the living room felt thick, like it was holding its breath. My fingers trembled as I clutched the phone. Its screen glowing with a video paused at a moment that had already carved a hole through my chest. The timestamp read 2:17 a.m., last night, outside a bar I'd never heard of. The image was grainy, but her face, was unmistakable, laughing under neon lights, her hand brushing against a stranger's arm. I sat frozen on the couch, the leather creaking under my weight, the faint hum of the fridge in the kitchen slicing through the silence. My heart pounded, a traitor in my ribcage, as I waited for the sound of her key in the lock. The door clicked open. "Hey, I'm home," Sarah called, her voice light, like she was tossing confetti into the air. Her heels tapped against the hardwood, and I heard the rustle of her coat sliding off her shoulders. I didn't move. I couldn't. The phone felt like a grenade in my hand, pin already pulled. "In here," I said, my voice low, barely masking the tremor. She appeared in the doorway, her auburn hair catching the lamplight, her smile soft but faltering when she saw my face. "Sit down," I said, gesturing to the couch across from me. "Watch this." Her brow furrowed, but she obeyed, sinking into the cushions. I pressed play. The video flickered to life, a shaky clip from a friend's phone, sent to me an hour ago with a single word: "Sorry." Sarah's laughter filled the speakers, tinny and distant, as she leaned closer to the man, her fingers lingering on his sleeve. The camera zoomed in, catching the way her eyes sparkled, the way his hand grazed her lower back. The clip ended abruptly, but the silence that followed was louder than anything. Sarah's breath hitched. Her hands, folded in her lap, tightened until her knuckles whitened. "Where did you get this?" she whispered, her voice brittle, like glass about to shatter. "Does it matter?" I asked, leaning forward, my elbows digging into my knees. The room smelled faintly of her perfume, jasmine, sharp and familiar, now twisted into something sour. "Who is he, Sarah?" She didn't answer right away. Her eyes darted to the floor, then to the window, where the street lights bled through the blinds, casting stripes across her face. "It's not what it looks like," she said finally, her words careful, rehearsed. "It was just a moment. A stupid, meaningless moment." I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. For 12 years, we'd built a life together. Lazy Sundays with coffee and crosswords, her head on my chest during late-night movies, the way she'd hum off-key in the shower. But the video wasn't the first crack in the foundation. There'd been late nights at the office, her phone face down on the counter, the way she'd started locking it with a passcode she never shared. Small things, easily explained away. Until they weren't. "Tell me," I said, my voice cracking. "Tell me everything." She swallowed, her throat bobbing. "His name's Ethan. He's just a coworker. We were out with the team, celebrating a big project. I had too much to drink, and she stopped, pressing her lips together, as if the truth might slip out if she wasn't careful. "And you what?" My voice rose, sharp enough to cut through the haze of her excuses. "You let him touch you? You laugh like you were happy, Sarah. Like you were alive in a way you haven't been with me in months." Her eyes flashed, a spark of defiance breaking through the guilt. "You think I'm happy? You think I'm alive? You're never here, Mark. You're buried in your work, your laptop, your endless meetings. When was the last time you even looked at me? Really looked?" Her words hit like a slap, but they didn't erase the image burned into my mind. Her hand on his arm, her smile brighter than I'd seen in years. "So this is my fault?" I said, standing now, pacing the room. The floorboards groaned under my steps. "You're blaming me for you sneaking around?" "I'm not sneaking," she snapped, rising to meet me. Her cheeks were flushed, her eyes wet with unshed tears. "It was one night. One stupid, drunken night. I didn't sleep with him, Mark. I didn't even kiss him." "Then why does it feel like you did?" I stopped, my hands clenched at my sides. The room seemed to shrink, the walls pressing in, the air heavy with the weight of everything unsaid. I thought of the late-night texts she'd dismissed as work stuff, the way she'd started wearing that red lipstick again, the one she used to wear when we were dating. I thought of the way she'd pull away when I tried to hold her, her body stiff, like she was guarding something. "Mark," she said, softer now, stepping toward me. Her hand reached out, but I flinched and she froze. I love you. I do. I got lost. I felt invisible, and he saw me. Her words twisted the knife deeper. I sank back onto the couch, my head in my hands. The room was too quiet now, the kind of quiet that screams. I remembered the early days when we'd stay up all night talking, when her laughter was mine to keep. How had we gotten here? When had I stopped seeing her? Say something, she pleaded, her voice barely above a whisper. I looked up, meeting her eyes. They were wide, desperate, but there was something else there. Guilt, yes, but also a flicker of something harder to name. Relief, maybe. Like she'd been carrying this secret for too long. And now it was out, raw and bleeding between us. I don't know if I can trust you. I said, the words heavy, final. Not after this. Her face crumpled, and she sank to her knees in front of me, her hands grabbing mine. Please, Mark. I'll do anything. I'll stop seeing him. I'll quit my job if you want. Just don't give up on us. I pulled my hands away, the warmth of her touch burning like betrayal. It's not about him, Sarah. It's about you. You chose to hide this. You chose to lie. She sobbed then, a broken sound that echoed in the hollow of my chest. I wanted to hold her, to tell her it would be okay, but the video played on a loop in my mind. Her laughter, his hand, the way she leaned into him like he was her gravity. The doorbell rang, sharp and jarring. We both froze. I stood, my legs unsteady, and crossed to the door. Through the peephole, I saw a man, tall, dark-haired, his hands shoved in his pockets. Ethan. I recognized him from the video, from the way he'd looked at her like she was his. What is he doing here? I growled, turning to Sarah. Her eyes widened, panic flashing across her face. I don't know, she stammered. I swear I didn't. I yanked the door open before she could finish. Ethan's face paled when he saw me, but he didn't back down. Mark, right? He said, his voice steady, too steady. We need to talk. The world tilted. My pulse roared in my ears, and I gripped the doorframe to keep from lunging at him. Behind me, Sarah's sobs grew louder, but I didn't turn around. I stared at Ethan, at the man who'd stepped into my life without permission, and I realized the truth wasn't in the video. It was here, in his eyes, in the way he stood too close to my door, too close to my wife. Get out, I said, my voice low, dangerous. But he didn't move. And in that moment I knew, whatever came next would break us all.